The term interlanguage was first coined by Selinker L. to describe the language system that a student of a foreign language constructs depending on the linguistic information that is available to him. According to Selinker's theory of interlanguage, although learners develop their own language in an effort to communicate meaningfully in the target language. To further understand about this language bridge, we have conducted among Malay native speakers who are studying courses that are not related to English language in the university to investigate the pattern of their most prevalent interlanguage errors. Errors related to countable, uncountable nouns, possessive case, articles, singular plural, preposition, verbs, nouns, adjectives, direct transfer of words, direct translation of phrases, and direct translation of idioms are all commonly omitted by Malay native speakers learning English as their second language.
Hi, I'm Nureen. So my part is the literature review part. From what I have found and researched, studies have indicated that Malay ESL learners struggle with mastering the English passive, but little is known about their acquisition patterns as they progress in their English proficiency. An inevitable feature of the interlanguage system is the occurrence of errors mentioned by Mahadun Mahmud et al. 2022. Some of the errors may be attributed to L1 influence, while others may be attributed to the intrinsic difficulty of the target language. However, this is not totally conclusive since there is evidence that disparities in specific elements between the L1 and L2 do not always cause difficulty for learners. The methodology in this study consists of participants, procedure, and also material. This study involves students majoring in courses other than English at universities. The total of 15 participants ranging in age from 22 to 24 were tested. All of them were evaluated despite the genders. As for procedure, we have listed 10 simple sentences, then distribute them to the participants. They were given 5 minutes long to translate the sentences that has been given. Their translations were recorded with only their voices present. A set of short sentences for a translation exercise made up the materials. The text was produced from a group discussion. It was written specifically for tertiary students, making it appropriate for a straightforward translation work.
I will explain on the results or the findings of this study. Firstly, this graph shows the grammatical categories and the number of errors made by the participant. As we can see in this graph, subject-verb agreement is the most frequently made grammatical error by the participant with 30 errors accumulated, and countable or uncountable noun holds the list with only 2 errors. Subject-verb agreement is a grammar rule that states that the verb in a phrase must match with the subject. The example of the error made by the participant pertaining to this category can be seen in this sentence. If you can see in this sentence, the verb put should be puts with S because the subject is singular. Other than that, countable noun or uncountable noun is the least grammatical error made by the participant. Generally speaking, countable noun known as the item that can be counted and uncountable noun are nouns that can never be counted due to their state or amount like liquid, sense, and air. This is the example of the sentence that the participant made mistakes regarding this category. So, the word information is an uncountable noun, hence it shouldn't be written with S. Now, let's move on with the second figure. This graph shows the vocabulary categories and the amount of errors made by the participant. As we can see, it shows that the participants made error the most when translating the idiom from Malay to English by direct translation with 15 errors, and the least one coming from direct transfer of words with only 2 errors. So, to translate an idiom is not as simple as word-for-word translation. The participant should get the idea of what the idiom means, only then they can proceed with the translation. So, these are the example of direct translation made by the participant. For direct transfer of words, which is the least category for the vocabulary error made by the participants, it is the transfer of words from one's native language into his or her second language without any changes in the transferred words. So this kind of error can be observed in this example. So we can see in this example that the participant made a direct transfer of the words Hari Malaysia into its full translated sentence. Figure 3 shows the percentage of the amount of errors made by the participants in a vocabulary and grammar. So according to the pie chart, we can conclude that the participants made grammatical error more than the vocabulary, with the former constitute 57.8% and the latter holds 52.2%.
My name is Nur Aisyah, so I'll be presenting on the discussion part. So, the finding shows that university students make more mistakes in the grammatical aspect, language, rather than the vocabulary aspects, whereas subject verb agreement errors are recorded as the highest mistakes made within the grammar category. Meanwhile, in the vocabulary category, direct translation of idioms are recorded as the highest. As this research focuses on Malay native speakers with English as the target language, many interlanguage errors were present. As to highlight our basis of research study, which is to investigate the relationship of writing anxiety between interlanguage ability, as reflected in our research method. Basic intralingual errors are made by tertiary educated students where writing anxiety caused by time constraints were the vital cause. Hence, with the addition of timed response in our research methods, supported our evidence in showing how university students are prone to make simple language mistakes. Malay and English major students are less likely to be involved in using the English language on a daily occasions. Hence, this causes them to be more prone to make grave mistakes in grammar, such as subject-verb agreement. The result shows a total out of 30 out of 78 errors are made. This is possible because of the interference from their native language, where overgeneralization of language rules is made. In comparison to the high number of errors in the grammatical category, only 57 vocabulary errors are made out of 135 of total errors. Direct translation of idioms is the highest number of mistakes within the vocabulary category of errors, where 15 out of 57 errors are made. In accordance with Abdelal and Al-Azawin 2019 research, they claim that translating idiom is difficult as its literal meaning and actual meaning is different, and translating it to the target language would need to consider the cultural difference as well. So, with the discussion and analysis presented, improvement of students' education of the English language should be heeded and pay attention to more. As this research focuses on university students, it is concerning to see this level of English language understanding with interlanguage interference dominantly present.
As identified in the research, subject-verb agreement is the most frequently made grammatical error by the participants when translating verses, which is then followed by tenses, possessive cases, articles, and countable uncountable noun holds the list with only 2 errors. This case study is very helpful for the development and studies for learning and acquiring English language, especially in understanding complex issues in real-life context. Our research team was able to obtain valuable experience and new information on handling case study research, and this has been a vast bonus for our studies development.